Well, David, that was a fantastic win today.
Yeah, I think it was obviously deserved. It's easy to say the sending offs changed the game, but it did. I still had unbelievable belief that we were going to win the game 11 against 11 with a better team when it was like that. They've had 3 touches in our box. You know, they didn't deserve a goal. Disappointing. But I thought our performance, even after that early setback, was terrific. First half, I thought we were very, very good. We scored two worldy goals to get his nose in front, and then turn the screw, which is pleasing. You know, we wanted a good performance after last week. You know, the fans deserve that. The ones that had travelled down to Barnet, and it's been coming. We've got to build on it. We've got to keep going. Yeah, I thought it was. I thought the second half. The biggest thing about the second half, I thought it was thoroughly professional. You know, we're 2-1 up. They had 10 men at the time, and it's easy to get sucked into not doing what you were doing. The best example I can give you is MK Dons away. Whereas we've learned from that, or we certainly have done today, albeit against different opposition, and put them to the sword. And I thought that was really pleasing. You know, we talk about learning. We spoke at half time about the MK Dons game and how we sort of stopped being positive in possession, and suddenly they're back in the game with 30 seconds to go. So we didn't want that to happen, and I thought, well, that didn't happen, and I think that's massive credit to the players.
Was today the day when Jamie Walker arrived at Grimsby Town properly? I mean, we've seen him in bits and bobs, haven't we, up until now, but those 2 world-class goals.
Oh, the finishes were outstanding. You know, I don't know if he's hit 2 better goals in a game. I'd be surprised if he has, because there were 2 absolute outstanding finishes. But it was nothing more than we deserved. You know, he had a great chance before that, and the keeper saved it. Charles has hit the bar. We've had one cleared off the line. The goals were coming. You know, I had no doubt. Obviously, at 1-0, everyone's still a bit edgy. It's a little bit quieter than usual, but we were playing well. We kept getting in on both sides of the pitch, through the middle. So I just felt it was a matter of time. It just took 2 unbelievable finishes to get us up and running, if you like. So that's why he's at the football club, Jamie. That's why the rest of the boys are here. And I thought, like I say, it was a really pleasing afternoon.
I mean, regardless of whether you're playing against 10 or 9, we've played some fantastic stuff in that second half.
Yeah, like I said, it's easy, 10 against 11, to sort of get stuck, and suddenly the team with 10 suddenly looks good, you know, or looks better, whereas we didn't allow that to happen. And I thought that was the most pleasing thing. As well as scoring lots of goals, the most pleasing thing today was actually we didn't let our advantage affect us. And I thought that was really pleasing.
And I guess the attitude as well, you want to be ruthless as well, and just go for it and score as many as you can.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. Again, it's about being professional, it's about learning from past experiences and being better. And I'm hoping that the next time we come up against 10 men, we have the same sort of performances we have done this afternoon, rather than the sort of MK Dons second half. There wasn't much wrong with the MK Dons second half one. I have to say there wasn't. We controlled the game in a different way, but we didn't actually score goals. Whereas today we've controlled it and scored goals. You know, we were literally around their box for 35 out of the 45 minutes, and the other 10 minutes was probably the ball was off the pitch. I think we had 77, something like that, percent possession. It was a thoroughly professional, dominant display.
And I know in training you can train against 10 men, but did you ever train against 9 with the 2 red cards? Is that a different beast?
No, the irony is we trained against 13 this week. We did 11 against 13, so the players played quicker in their minds. There's less space. It helps. You know, it's something that we've done a few times. We want players to play quick and play bright, and when there's less space, sometimes you're forced to do that because the opposition are always near you. But it does make you think quicker. So it's a decision-making practice, if you like. It's like I say, you can play against a man advantage or man disadvantage, both sides of that coin. But ultimately, you've got to make good decisions. And when there's less space, and you sort of, we anticipated that's how the game would pan out. Hence why we did 13 against 11, and was, you know, if you come, we scored 3 goals playing against 13, and we swap personnel. It's not just the team that started. We swap everyone around so everyone gets a go. The teams in various combinations scored 3 goals against the 13 players. So if you score 3 against 13, in theory it should be easier against 11. It should be much easier against 9. So yeah, it's a little bit of a, you know, credit to how we've trained. You know, we often get asked how we've trained this week. You know, and never what's the content been. Well, there's a little insight, if you like, to how we've prepared for a team that was bottom of the league, and it's paid dividends.
Lots of positives today, and another one is the return of Yasin coming off the bench for his first appearance. He got a brilliant ovation from the crowd as well.
Yeah, you know, you ask any of the players, they absolutely love him. He's just such a great kid, always smiling. Honestly, I'm pretty certain he could have had the worst day in the world, and you ask him how he is, and he's good, very good, because he's just such a happy lad. And we're all delighted to see him back on the pitch and doing what he does. You know, he did a bit of skill to get beyond their fullback. It was outstanding. And we're delighted we had the opportunity to put him on the pitch, because that helps. It helps, you know. It's been a long road for him, and it's great to have Rosie back as well. Jude getting up to speed with men's football, you know, giving Clark, you know, an opportunity. All these things, lots of things, you know. Finishing with Jaden as an 8, and him scoring 2 goals, food for thought. You know, so there's all these little things that we're allowed to try in a really competitive environment, and see, you know, the fruits of the players' labours, really. Yeah, it's a pleasing afternoon.
Fantastic. Well done, David. Thank you.